What's up everybody, I'm HoopsandHipHop and welcome to the big finale. In this series, we have been covering facts on every single Pokemon, and we are finally ready to cover the most recent region up to this point, at least for the next couple months until Generation 8 gets revealed, and that would of course be the Alola region. After releasing several Pokemon kind of last minute, Generation 7 ended up giving us 88 Pokemon total, so we are going to be covering the first 44 in this video. Now, even though they're not necessarily Alola Pokemon, we are also going to be covering Meltan and Melmetal during the second part to this video because of course they are Gen 7 Pokemon and I can't really just give them their own video because it's only 2 Pokemon. So with all of that being said, we've got a ton of great Pokemon to cover here in this video, so why don't we go ahead and just get started. Starting off with our spherical boy Rowlet, according to its Ultra Moon Dex entry, it feels relaxed in tight, dark places and has been known to use its trainer's pocket or bag as a nest. Now, the reason why this is interesting is because it's most assuredly a reference to the anime where we see Ash's Rowlet constantly within his backpack, using it as a nest. Dartrix is also the only evolved version of a starter Pokemon to have its secondary type change upon evolving into its final form when it evolves into the Grass Ghost type Decidueye. This is also the only starter line to feature 3 different types because of this as well. It was actually very recently revealed by Masahiro Sakurai that Decidueye was very close to getting into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as a playable fighter, as it was between Decidueye and Incineroar for who was going to get the new Pokemon slot. Obviously though, however, unfortunately for Decidueye, Incineroar ended up getting that honor. Moving on to Litten, in the Pokemon Adventures manga, Sun originally owned a Litten before it evolved into Torracat, and this Litten's nickname is actually Dollar, but it goes a little bit deeper and more interesting than that, however, because all of its names across all of the different translations of the manga relate to some kind of currency, as in Japanese, its name comes from the word yen, which is the Japanese dollar, and in French, it comes from the word braise, which is a slang term for cash. Its evolution Torracat has a base stat total of 420 and is actually the only fire type Pokemon with this base stat total, which technically makes Torracat the ultimate blaze-it Pokemon, if you know what I'm saying. A surprising fact about Incineroar is that Incineroar is the only evolution of a starter Pokemon to have a lower base stat than one of its pre-evolutions, as its base speed is 30 points lower than Torracat's and it's even 10 points lower than its original primary form in Litten. According to Popplio's Pokemon Sun Dex entry, this Pokemon snorts body fluids from its nose, blowing balloons to smash into its foes. It's famous for being a hard worker. So basically what this reveals to us is that those cute little water bubbles that Popplio was making that you thought were just so adorable, yeah, that's actually snot, and it's actually using snot to attack its enemies. Yeah, not really so cute now, is it? Believe it or not, Brionne's Russian name, when translated into English, is actually Brian. This is a result of its Russian name being a direct transcription of its English name Brionne, but once it's translated again from Russian back into English once more, it obviously ends up being kinda goofy. Primarina may have got some mixed reception when it was officially confirmed as the final evolution of Popplio, but it does not mess around when it comes to being a starter Pokemon, as Primarina actually has the highest base special attack stat, base special defense, and single base stat of any fully evolved starter Pokemon that we have ever seen to this point. Moving on to Pikipek, Pikipek evolves into Trumbeak at level 14 and then again into Toucanon at level 28. Now this might seem pretty standard, but an interesting thing about this is that every single Pokemon in the Alola Dex up to Pikipek and its evolution line actually evolve into their final form at double the level that they evolve into their second form. Trumbeak's hidden ability is Pickup, which coincides with its habit of eating berries and storing their seeds in its beak, according to the Pokedex. However, there is another likely connection with this ability to Trumbeak's design, as since its beak is based on a trumpet as its name implies, the Pickup ability can also represent a musical pickup which trumpets are capable of using. With Toucanon, the Elite Four member Kahili, who actually uses a Toucanon on her team, holds a golf club which has a handle that resembles the color pattern of Toucanon's beak. It has been stated numerous times that Yungoos is not actually native to Alola and was brought in from another region in order to deal with the Rattata population. However, obviously we've never seen Yungoos in another region up to this point, so it's not actually known which region Yungoos is native to. Maybe eventually in Generation 8 or further on down the line, we will get the answer to this question. When its evolution Gumshoes was revealed, fans immediately pointed out its visual similarities to Donald Trump. And this meme, if you will, actually made it all the way to Junichi Masuda himself, who actually gave a response in response to all of the discussion amongst the fans. Masuda said, "It's a very American-centric question, I think, and actually a lot of people sent me comparison photos on Twitter pointing out the resemblance. But we had started the design of this Pokemon a long time back, and we didn't have any intention to make it look like Donald Trump." When it comes to the Pokemon Grubbin debuted into the anime in the very first episode of the Alola arc, Alola to New Adventure. And as a matter of fact, this episode is the very first time that Team Rocket, meaning James, Jesse, and Meowth, are nowhere to be seen in the first episode of a regional arc since their actual debut into the anime itself in just the second episode. Speaking of the anime, Grubbin's evolution Charjabug is actually a Pokemon that is owned by Sophocles in the anime, and it is the very first Pokemon that Sophocles caught in the Alola region. However, aside from just being the Pokemon of one of the major characters in the anime, Charjabug is also the very first Pokemon in the entire anime to ever have its nature confirmed. When it comes to its final evolution Vikavolt, Vikavolt has the highest base special attack of any bug-type Pokemon currently in existence. An interesting fact about Crabrawler from the development of Pokemon Sun and Moon is that during the development of those games, Crabrawler was actually known by its code name, Crab1. Certainly a very creative name to say the least. Possibly the only thing that its evolution Crabominable has going for it, and no hate if you actually like this Pokemon, is that Crabominable actually has the longest English name of any Pokemon currently, being made up of 12 total letters. There is actually a glitch involving Oricorio in Pokemon Sun and Moon where when you bring it into Pokemon Refresh, all 4 forms of the Pokemon will actually use the cry of the Bile style Oricorio. An interesting fact about Cutiefly, despite being completely adorable, is that Cutiefly is the only unevolved Pokemon that can learn the move Quiver Dance. Its evolution Rabombi is also the smallest fully evolved Pokemon that we've ever seen, being not only the shortest fully evolved Pokemon at 8 inches tall, but also the lightest fully evolved Pokemon at a whopping 1.1 pounds. A surprising thing about Rockruff as well as its evolution Lycanroc is that these are the only 2 rock-type Pokemon that can't actually learn the move Sandstorm. In Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, Lycanroc actually got its own exclusive Z-move in the form of Splintered Storm Shards, and Splintered Storm Shards is the only move that can actually remove terrain effects without actually introducing a new terrain effect itself. Even though this is kind of Wishiwashi's thing, Wishiwashi's base stat total from its singular form to its school form undergoes the largest base stat total change of any Pokemon with multiple forms. Speaking of base stat changes, Mareanie, when it evolves into Toxapex, gains the largest increase to a single base stat of any evolving Pokemon, with a whopping 90 base stat points added to both its defense and special defense. And speaking of those defense stats, Toxapex has the highest base defense and special defense stats of any poison-type Pokemon. The Pokemon Mudbray debuted into the anime in the episode Young Kiawe Had a Farm, and a rather unusual occurrence happens in this episode as Team Rocket does not recite their motto, blast off, or even attempt to catch Pikachu whatsoever in this episode. According to Mudsdale's Pokemon Moon Dex entry, its heavy mud-covered kicks are its best means of attack, and it can reduce large trucks to scrap without breaking a sweat. Now, I'm sure you know where I'm going with this by now, but this is our obligatory I can destroy a motor vehicle with my bare hands according to the Pokedex fact of the video, and if you're not caught up on this absolute meme, there has been at least one Pokemon within every generation since Generation 2 where it's stated in the Pokedex that they are able to destroy a motor vehicle of some kind, whether it be a car, a truck, a garbage truck, what have you, with their enormous power. Like, at this point, is this some kind of inside joke at Game Freak or something? Because I feel like the absolutely crazy amount of trucks and motor vehicles that are getting destroyed in the Pokedex at the hands of Pokemon is completely and wildly unnecessary. Now, every Pokemon fan is familiar with the concept of version exclusives and counterparts, as we see them in every new Pokemon game. However, one thing we don't usually see is counterparts across different generations, but that's exactly what we have with Dewpider, as Dewpider in Pokemon Sun and Moon is an absolute counterpart to Surskit. Not only do they both share the water and bug types, they also have the same base stat total of 269. They also evolve at the same level and can both be found in Brooklet Hill in Sun and Moon, with Dewpider being found in the day and Surskit being found at night. Its evolution Araquanid has some rather contradictory Pokedex entries in Pokemon Sun and Moon, where one states it delivers headbutts with the water bubble on its head. Small Pokemon get sucked into the bubble where they drown, while the other one states, despite what its appearance suggests, it cares for others. If it finds vulnerable, weak Pokemon, it protectively brings them into its water bubble. So like, Araquanid, my dude, which one is it? Are you killing Pokemon with your water bubble, or are you protecting them? That's kind of a 0 to 100 type of scenario, like, what's going on? It's commonly known that Fomantis gets its name from the word faux, which is French for false or fake, and mantis as in praying mantis. This alludes to the fact that Fomantis is not actually a praying mantis, despite the fact that it appears as one. However, this name inspiration goes a little bit deeper and becomes even more interesting because the word faux, in addition to meaning false or fake in French, can also be translated as the word scythe, as in the scythe-like arms that praying mantises have, which really ties together this whole design concept and inspiration very, very well. Its evolution Lurantis is the only known Pokemon currently who can actually learn the move Solar Blade, as Solar Blade is Lurantis' signature move. In addition to this, Solar Blade is also the only move that has a base power of 125. An interesting thing about Morlul is that Morlul, as well as its evolved form Shinodic, are the only Pokemon that can have Rain Dish as an ability that cannot actually learn the move Rain Dance. Another set of cross-generational counterparts, one of which was introduced in Generation 7, are Shinodic and Parasect, as they both share many similarities. They're both the grass type and have the same exact base stat totals, they can both learn the move Spore, and in addition to all of this, they are both trial Pokemon in Lush Jungle, in Pokemon Sun and Moon, where Shinodic can be found in Pokemon Moon and Parasect can be found in Pokemon Sun. They also have very similar design concepts, as they are both different sorts of creatures whose bodies are being taken over by some kind of toxic mushroom. Moving on to Salandit, no other Pokemon currently has the same type combination of Poison Fire as Salandit or its evolution Salazzle. Speaking of Salazzle, Salazzle as well as its pre-evolution Salandit are also the only Poison-type Pokemon who have a double resistance to Fairy-type moves. According to Stuffle's Ultra Sun Dex entry, it boasts power enough to split large trees in half. The organ on its rear releases an odor that it uses to communicate with others of its kind. So I guess that little adorable tag that's on its butt that's meant to kind of allude to the fact that Stuffle is based on a stuffed animal is actually an organ. Suddenly, that's a lot less cute. Its evolution Beware is a rather iconic Alola Pokemon for a number of different reasons, but one thing about its design that actually makes it a much better Pokemon in my mind and is also fairly easily missable, or at least it was to me, maybe I'm just dumb, but in addition to being based on a red panda, Beware is also partially based on a mascot costume, hence why it has that blank stare on its face. In addition to this, its name Beware, while it seems to be a pun on the word beware combined with the word bear since it's a bear, it also incorporates the word where as well, as you can see within the game, which is a reference to the fact that it is based on a mascot costume. Like, holy cow, how did I not see this before? Moving on to Bounsweet, despite the fact that it has the word bounce in its name, it's actually unable to learn the literal move bounce. However, it is able to learn the move splash, which is known as hop in Japanese, so I mean, I guess that's something. Its evolution Steenie has a base stat total of 290 and is currently the only Pokemon who is not a first stage Pokemon to have this total. Its final evolution, Sarina, is clearly based on some type of female, more specifically some type of female ruler, as it has the word Sar in its name, which is a word that is used to denounce some type of ruler. However, this isn't some sort of random placement of some random characteristic, because Sarina is also based on the mangosteen fruit, which is commonly known as the Queen of Fruit. An interesting thing about Comfey is that Comfey is the only Pokemon in the Grass Egg group that is not actually a grass type itself. And finally, the last Pokemon that we're going to be covering in this first part of the video is Oranguru, and according to Oranguru's Ultra Sun Dex entry, it normally spends its time meditating in the treetops. It throws Pokeballs and gives other Pokemon orders as it pleases. Yeah, you know what? I'm not really too sure how I feel about that, because that's basically saying that Oranguru is capable of catching Pokemon in Pokeballs and commanding them just like a trainer, even though it itself is also a Pokemon. This just has Planet of the Apes written all over it, and you know what? I am actually legitimately terrified. And there we have it, everybody. That was the first half of 88 facts on every single Alola and Generation 7 Pokemon. Now, even though it is kind of bittersweet covering the Alola Pokemon because it obviously means the end of this series, at least until Generation 8 is revealed anyway, I have had a lot of fun covering the Alola Pokemon, and I certainly hope you have enjoyed learning about them in this first part of the video. If you guys enjoyed the video though, be sure to give it a like and let me know down in the comments below which one of these facts is your favorite, or if you have another fact that I didn't mention about one of these Pokemon that you would like to share. As always, if you are new to the channel as well, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more Pokemon content every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and if you enjoy Pokemon music and remixes, consider following me on Spotify as well, because supporting me over there on Spotify is a great way to directly support the channel here as well, and I would sincerely appreciate it. With all of that being said though, I will be back on Tuesday for another video, so be sure to hit that notification bell so you can be notified as soon as it goes live, and with all of that being said, I love you guys, and I will smell you guys later.